Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mary Johnson. I'm the outgoing president of Friends and Council, and Edwyna was our treasurer this year. I want to thank you all because you have come from so many different organizations of which Edwyna was a part. I don't dare name all the organizations for fear of forgetting one, but you represent so many organizations and friends, and I thank you all, and I thank you for bringing goodies. Those of you who did, there's some beautiful things there, lots of punch and beautiful cookies. I especially want to thank Ev Swartz and Barbara Schowen, who supported this idea. Barbara is responsible for all the room arrangements today, and that is a very precious thing. Edwyna apparently did not want any kind of memorial service, but her niece, Elizabeth Comden, said that she thought Edwyna would be absolutely tickled to know that so many friends and colleagues were here just in this type of get-together to remember her today. I wrote to Elizabeth to ask her if there was anything special she wanted us to say. Unfortunately, the family will not be back in town until later on this month. And she sent me two quotes that she said Edwyna was very fond of. Before I call people up to share memories of Edwyna, I would just like to read these two. The first is one that we all know from Lewis Carroll. "The time has come," the walrus said, "to talk of many things, of shoes and ships and sealing wax and cabbages and kings, and why the sea is boiling hot and whether pigs have wings." The second one that Elizabeth mentions is a quote from Antoine de Saint-Exupéry's The Little Prince, which probably most of you know as well. And you may remember that the little prince in his travels meets a fox, and he tames the fox. The fox becomes his friend, and when it's time to part, the fox says to the little prince, "It is only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye." And this was the second quote Elizabeth mentioned. In her email, Elizabeth writes, "My heart is in Kansas, along with the rest of my family's. Best wishes for a wonderful gathering on the 18th. So we appreciate her doing that, and I would appreciate at this point anyone who would like to come up and share some wonderful memories of Edwyna.
Or if you don't want to come up here, we can bring you the microphone.
Well, I can come over there, but I'm not sure that the microphone will work without some help. Thank you. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
I don't want to shout because Edwyna would not approve. And she would be saying to me, "Keep it brief. Keep it brief." And I will try, although it's not really possible to keep it brief when you're talking about Edwyna, because she was so remarkable and really one of a kind. Many of you have known her longer and perhaps better than I, but I'm speaking from a place of distinction. Edwyna was my neighbor for over 14 years, right next door, and my colleague and friend for longer than that. So I'd like to address memories of her at Sprague. When Edwyna moved in, well, at that time, Daryl, I think I saw you come in, and maybe Monty Sokup. Daryl Bean was Vice President of Properties at Endowment, a position that Monty Sokup now has. And in that position, he managed Sprague and Pioneer Cemetery. And Edwyna always said about them, "They are my landlords in the here and the hereafter." And I think we all regret that the here was way too short. And in fact, Jan McCullough and I said, about a week ago, that we were pretty angry with her for leaving us too soon and way too young. How we miss her. But you know, when she moved into Sprague, things changed instantly, as you can imagine. She dubbed us the Spragers, and Spragers we are. She got a formal invitation addressed to Mrs. William Gilbert, the Sprague Apartments, which she thought was pretty swishy, right up there with the Oaks on the plaza. And I think, Daryl, she would have changed the name on the building if she could have. We'd always done the odd thing together, potlucks and birthday parties, but when Edwyna's arrival, everything became more spontaneous. Phone call in the morning or an email. If you're interested, let's all get together for supper. Picnic table, 5:30, bring your own supper. And out, of course, out would come her red and white check tablecloth, which she kept just for those occasions. Or the impromptu pizza parties. I think those started when she and I ordered a large one from Papakino's, not knowing that it was the size of a wagon wheel. So the message went out, bring your plate and your fork and get a slice of pizza. But she wasn't all fun and games. Edwyna had standards. And she had standards for Sprague. Some of you don't know that she liked to do laundry. I mean, a job that most of us find just a terrible chore. But she liked it, and she took charge of the laundry room. And especially after she got her Martha Stewart labeling device, we had little signs that went up. Clean lint from the dryer, comma, please. Forget the please. This was an order. And you were particularly cautious when something appeared in red. Liquid only in the bleach and detergent dispensers. And one day I saw her in the laundry room. She looked at me and she said, "Are you the one who," I don't even remember what it was, but I was prepared to lie. She also applied those same standards to the recycling room, which she managed also. Woe be to anyone who puts something there that shouldn't go. The offending article would appear in public, and a note. And you just had the feeling from the note that she knew who you were and that she was watching. But it was fun. A friend of ours said, "I bet it's fun living next door to Edwyna," and it was. It was a lot of fun. Of course, I told her that's not the word I would use. But it was fun. It was exciting. It was unpredictable. It was spontaneous. You got what was contagious, the joy and the energy she brought to everything. She certainly lived life to the fullest. I've always said that Edwyna, it wasn't just a glass half full. It was up to the brim and running over. Her good humor carried her through many, many situations. And I was always in awe of her and how eager her friends were to do for her. Mary Loveland is here, and Mary brought her flowers and handmade wreaths. And she got goodies from a lot of people. I can't tell you how many dinners Rita Howe cooked for her, and how many pots of chili and pies baked by Arno Napper. And it was wonderful for me because I got to share. And people were eager to do this, but she was just as kind in return. As a friend, she was good, she was steady, she was steadfast. She was there in good times and bad. In the good times, she helped you celebrate the births, the weddings, the anniversaries, the children, grandchildren, even great-grandchildren. And more important, she was there in the bad times. If you had sorrow in your life, she was there. Not with treacly sentimentality, but to ease and comfort you with a hug, a gesture, or a diversion, something to take your mind off anything. She's a class act. And I miss my friend very much. I miss that blur going down the hall outside my window. Edwyna, the goer and doer, in a Chico jacket, off to an activity, a lunch, a reception, or maybe just to get the mail. But if she was going off grounds, she'd hop in that sterling silver Jeep, and away she'd go. How she loved that Jeep. And we'll all miss her. I think everyone in this room, for different reasons. But when I do miss her, I'm somewhat comforted by the knowledge that, unlike so many people who go through this life and leave it with virtually no trace, not true of Edwyna. She not only left a trace, she left a mark. She left a deep impression on everyone here. And as long as there's anyone around, whether in this room or someone we don't even know about, someone who knew her and cared for her, she'll be remembered and she'll be sorely missed, as we all sorely miss her today.